Hello everyone, welcome to Physics Wala Meded. I'm Dr. Patil. Now I have been teaching medicine for last 10 years. I've taught the FMGE, NEET PG and NEET SS aspirants, also undergraduate medical students and postgraduate residents. So in this 10 years, I've interacted with hundreds of medical students, and this interaction has made me learn few things. Of course, I have helped students learn few things. And one of the learning is that when NEET PG result get announced and the students have to make a choice of their branch, there is usually total chaos. Students get confused which branch to choose, which institute to choose, branch versus institute, MD versus DNB, all these confusions crop up. So today, I'm here to help address few of those confusions. But let me tell you the very first and the most important point. If you have a favorite branch, like let us say for me it was medicine. If you have a favorite branch and a seat is available to you at your rank, somewhere the seat is available to you in your affordable fees range, do not think twice. Absolutely do not think twice. Every other discussion, debate does not matter. Like, sir, I'm getting this MD medicine. I like it. It's my favorite. But I'm getting it in a peripheral institute. But I may get pathology. I may get surgery. I may get pediatrics in government institute in a metro or in a central institute. So what do you suggest? No discussion on this. Just choose the branch of your choice. That is what your heart is telling. Your heart's calling matters. I'm not going to reiterate and say that yes, you live with the branch lives with you throughout your life, institute doesn't. I don't have to reiterate. You should know that. In fact, I personally consider that if, let us say, you have done your PG from some big institute, don't want to take a name, you've done it from some big institute, and 2 or 3 years down the line after your PG, if you still need to use the name of the institute, if you have to still live on the laurels of the institute, you have terribly failed career. Means, like, I don't want to take the medical college name, but let us say that I have done MBA from IIM Bangalore. 3 years ago, I have completed, and I still feel that I am superior to everyone else because I have done MBA from IIM Bangalore. That means I have failed. My work should start talking 2 to 3 years into my practice. If I'm a good business manager, the business should grow and that should speak, not my MBA. Similarly, where you did PG from should not matter 2 to 3 years down the line. I personally believe that it should not matter from day one. Love the branch, be dedicated to it, put the effort it needs for you to learn and become skilled, and trust me, the branch will reward you like anything. Okay. So, with that clarity, today's discussion is primarily for those who are now stuck at a point where their branch of choice is not available to them. Now they have to make an alternate choice, and they are in a situation where they cannot make another NEET PG attempt or INICET attempt. This was their last attempt, or this is the last attempt they could afford, and now whatever is available, they have to take. And that is where they're stuck. Now, like my favorite branch is not available, other branches are available. I want to choose one of them, but for individuals, there will be different criteria. It is personalized. So for someone, it may be money. It's like, just to give you an example, I wanted medicine, I didn't get. Now, anyway, I have to choose something else. And let us say I have loan, I need to clear it in a very short span of time. Uske baad shadi karna hai, there's so many other features. So then I want a branch which gives me the money right from the early stage. This is one story. Then you may have another individual who says, sir, I don't have the pressure to start earning as soon as possible. But when I start earning, eventually I want the pinnacle of it. I want heavy cash flow later. Okay, so your story is different. So choices also should be influenced by that fact, right? So today let me address two parameters that may be bothering you. One of them is money, which branch can give you the most money, and the second one is which branch can give you the work-life balance. Because some of you may be choosing a branch which gives you a better work-life balance. Some of you may be choosing the branch that gives you money. So let us address that. First, let me start with money. Now, let me tell you, when we talk about money, making money is an art. It's not dependent on the branch. So I know the physiologists, biochemistry, faculty members, pathologists, earning more than the neurologist, cardiologist, radiologist. So is it like totally dependent on the branch? No. Making money is an art. So whatever money you start making, you need to know how to invest, how to grow your business, how to grow your tribe. That's how you make money. If your money is only coming from salary, no matter what branch you are pursuing, anyway, you will not have great amount of money in your account. You will always be struggling to make the ends meet. Okay, so making money is an art, and I would strongly recommend that please have some financial literacy whenever you start earning, whatever is your branch. Like let us say I have done physiology and I started getting 70,000 SR salary. Or if I have done radiology and I started getting 1.5 lakh SR salary. No matter what, whatever is your revenue, start investing it wisely. Compound that money. Investment compounds and gives you huge returns in the future. Learn the art of investment. Second, also don't be under the society's pressure so that I have to maintain that lifestyle. Nobody is valuing us inside the clinics. They're coming and bashing us in hospitals. They consider us as looters. So why are you putting efforts to get the approvals from the society? We don't need the validation from the society. So make sure that once you start earning, you invest it wisely and you spend it wisely. You don't need the validation from the society, right? So keep that edged in your mind. Now let me tell you, the money that flows in initially need not always mean that the money will be like high in the later part of the career. So let us say if you've done physiology, biochemistry, and that, or in other words, let me say in simple words, if you've done your PG in the first year subjects, if you've done PG in second year subjects, if you've done PG in third year or final year subjects, right? Let us look at the money aspect from each of them. Now, first year is kind of dependent on medical colleges because only they can employ, except few biochemistry people may find place in industries. Medical colleges are employing. So starting salary, you start in the position of senior resident. The senior resident starting salary varies from 70K in some states and goes to 1.1 lakh in some states. This depends on the scarcity principle. In those states where there is shortage of faculty members, it goes up to 1.1 lakh. Where it is abundance, it may be 70,000. That's your starting pay. Is it different for the second year subjects? No. The path, pharma, micro, they get the same. There may be some added incentives based on the lab work done, but you can roughly count it as 70K to 1.1 lakh only. Okay. If you talk about third year, like ENT, Oftal, the number is still same, not greatly different. Again, there may be some incentives for the clinical practice or number of cases operated. Nonetheless, the incentives that we're talking about because of your lab work or clinical work does not add more than 20% to it. So if you're already making 1 lakh, the institute may be giving maximum 20,000 rupees as incentives. Because when incentive is given to a department in a medical college, majority of it is like distributed to the whole departments, your HOD, unit heads, associate professors, assistant professors, and the SRs like you. So it is distributed and it is proportionately distributed. Of course, the maximum chunk will go to the HOD. The tiny portion will come to you. So it's going to be a tiny amount only. That incentive, you can count it as negligible. It will be okay for you to manage your chai, coffee and stuff. Not great. So there is no much difference in the initial earning. When it comes to final year, again, not much of a difference, but some selected branches. So most of the branches will get same 70K to 1.1 lakh, some incentives for clinical practice. Only few branches like radio or dermat may attract higher initial pay. So in some states, it may go up to 1.5 lakh. Again, I would say starting is for them also, institutes may offer same 70, but the higher offering may go up to 1.5 lakhs. So starting revenue slightly higher for people with radio or dermat, but otherwise roughly we're all starting on the same page. But as you progress through, right, let us say 5 years into career, how the income graph is going to change. For most of the people working in medical colleges, you are totally dependent on your medical college hike. So it may become 2x. So you may expect somewhere around 2 lakhs. That's the best case scenario I'm talking about if you're dependent on the medical college salary. Same applies to the second year subjects also. But now the people in the second year subjects, they generally branch off from the medical college. They get lab commitments. They start going to multiple labs if you're a pathologist, or you just start your own lab. So there is avenue of making better money. But if you're sticking to medical college, the best case scenario we can expect is this. This is with lot of bargains with the medical college management. Otherwise, the hike and promotions are pretty slow in the colleges. If you're third year, again, the salary is not going to change. There's no much difference in this payments in medical colleges. But if you branch out, if you branch out from the medical college and get into the clinical practice, by this time, hopefully you should, because you've spent 5 years into your clinical practice post PG, you will have good skills, you would have developed good communication skills, so you can make it big in practice. If you are willing to take that plunge, let us say you have taken the plunge after 1 year of SRship and 1 year of assistant professorship, and you're not going into associate professor and all, you have come out in the practice. So if you've taken the practice route, ENT of all today, comfortably you can make upwards of 3 lakh, and the upper limit, there is no limit set. People I know are comfortably making anywhere between 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs. This is comfortable practice, not a stretched practice, not malpractice, not illegal practice, right? It's a genuine legal practice. They're able to make 3 to 10 lakhs. Then, talking about the final year subjects, this is where the thing comes. So if you're talking about, let us say, the other final year subjects like medicine, surgery, pediatrics, by this time most of us would have branched off. If you're continuing, please remember, if you're continuing into the medical college, they are still going to pay you the same salary. So you're looking at somewhere around 2 lakhs 5 years from now, post your PG. And when I say 2 lakhs, I have taken into account the possible inflation. Means today is 1.1 lakh, with little bit annual increments, you would have reached 2 lakhs 5 years down the line. But if you branch up and start practice, yes, you can anticipate significant jump. Many of you, if you are based in metro or suburban areas, you may be able to hit easily comfortable 3 lakhs. You may be able to extend it to 15 lakhs. Especially the busy surgeons, busy physicians with a lot of inpatients, multiple hospital visits, you may be able to hit that number. I don't say everyone is going to hit, but yeah, you have a higher ceiling available. But then if you look at the salary growth curve of the radio people, they might have started little higher initially, but the peak that they reach is not going to be like the peak of a surgeon or a physician or a super specialist in medical or surgical branches. So you may be able to earn anywhere between 5 to 10 lakhs with being a very busy radiologist, branching off from a medical college, going to the radio centers, or establishing own radiology center. Now you may say, sir, establishing own radio center gives a lot of income. See, the business income is different, practice income is different. So if I'm able to invest 10 crores to start a radio center, I will also hire one of you, one of the radiologists for 5 lakhs. And whatever else I make is the business income. But the 5 lakh that I'm spending radiologist is actually the radiologist income, right? So in that case, then if I start a medical college, even if I'm a physiology faculty, I will earn crores through back doors. If I, let us say, if I start a hospital, 200 bedded hospital, I can have a humongous amount of profit, but that's not professional income. We're talking about professional income here. So from practice, radiologists may get somewhere around 5 to 10 lakhs. So radiology has a ceiling, the peak is lower. Starting point is better, but the peak is lower. For some branches, there is a slow grind. Medicine, surgery, and all, they have to build practice, they have to build rapport with patients, they have to become a little popular in the locality. But once they have hit that, the peak of medicine, the peak of surgery, the peak of pediatrics is definitely much bigger than the peak of radiology. Then if I talk about dermat, I see something different cooking in the recent times. Earlier we used to say the peak of dermat is also lower. You start better, but peak is lower. You also tend to hit 5-10 lakhs at the best case scenario in your practice. But now with the advent of social media and the cosmetology procedures, you can popularize yourself quite well. And if you're popular, you may make this money 5-10 lakhs purely from your social media engagements and the sponsorships that come on social media, the brand promotions and all. Okay. So what do we learn from this? If you are ready to invest wisely, take a detour from the practice. Like practice is not the only source of income. If you're ready to explore other options, then we are not talking about these numbers. You can hit 100 crore also and 200 crore also. But if you want to stick to practice and if you want to stick to traditional routes, like, okay, I am a teacher of biochemistry and I want to stay in a medical college, this is what I'm expecting. But if I want to explore YouTube or Instagram, I can make definitely more money, right? So don't think that your branch sets a ceiling on your income. Branch gives you a decent, every branch gives you a decent income to start your life with. Please keep eyes open, ears open, and whenever you find an avenue to explore that, catch it and explore that, make money. That's it. Don't stop yourself from making money. I really feel bad that when I hear some colleagues, juniors, some friends, seniors saying that, oh, I'm stuck in a medical college, they're giving me 1.5 lakh salary, it's not sufficient, but I'm not able to do anything. No, please keep exploring options. That's a take home message. Now, that's about money. I don't want to talk more. Let's talk about work life balance. Now, there are definitely branches which do not give good work life balance, and there are branches which give you fantastic work life balance. So, all your first year subject, they give you great work life balance, right? So if you talk about work life balance for the first year subjects, be it anat, physio, pathology, biochemistry, it gives you great work life balance because you're going to the medical college working fixed hours. If you're spending the remaining time making revenue, good for you, but spend it wisely. Okay. Second year subjects, again, you don't have medical emergencies, they give great work life balance, no doubt about it. If your evenings are spent in labs, days are spent in medical colleges, this is, you know, should know how to handle it. But if you choose, okay, I'll just stick to medical college and work, you know, it has great work-life balance. When you talk about third year subjects, ENT, Opthal, PSM has great work-life balance. You're working in a medical college or maybe a WHO project, it has a great work-life balance. ENT Opthal may have slightly disturbed work-life balance or a busy work-life balance because you may be running across multiple hospitals for practice. So I would say it is plus minus when it comes to third year. You can make, but you have the choice. You can restrict your practice and thus you can have a good work-life balance. Or if you want to chase money more, definitely you can make more money as well. Then when it comes to the fourth year subjects, fourth year, let me be a little more detailed. Like if I talk about medicine, medicine generally does not have good work-life balance. If you talk about surgery, generally it does not have good work-life balance. Pediatrics, no. But other branches, like let us say radio, dermat, psychiatry, they carry good work-life balance. But the hot subjects like ortho, pediatrics, medicine, surgery, or even for that matter, anesthesia, they do not carry good work-life balance. Why medicine does not carry good work-life balance? Because if you're doing medicine, like if you're practicing medicine, you do deal with emergencies. If you're working in a corporate hospital as a very junior level doctor, like the registrar, then you're maybe working in fixed hours. But once you become consultant, even if you're not in the hospital, even if your JR or SR is managing the case or registrar is managing the case, you still receive calls. You have to manage. So you are legally responsible for anything that goes into the patient's body, anything that goes wrong with the patient. You're legally responsible, and trust me that that stress stays with you. So doesn't have great work-life balance. Surgery, you know that when cases come, when you need to operate, The surgery takes 8 hours, you need to be available there. If it takes 2 hours, you need to be there. So it's quite an unpredictable life. So of course, there is no great work-life balance. Pediatrics, mainly if you're restricting to outpatient and you're taking selected inpatients, you can have a balance. But at least in the initial stages of your career, the pediatricians need to have good equations with the obs-gyn people, because obs-gyn people are the ones who give you the initial cases, and these obs-gyn people often call you for the labor. So you will have labor calls. And we need to do that if you are starting your career, because the kids don't walk into your clinic. Most of the times, every time there is a newborn kid, gynecologist is the one who is suggesting some pediatricians for them. And listening to the gynecologist opinion, they come to the pediatrician. So you need to have good rapport with gynecologist. And then if you have a good rapport, of course, whenever they say that, okay, I have a labor, please, I need you here, you need to be there. So it may be night, it may be evening, it may be morning, it may be the mid of the day. So because of the labor calls, pediatrics might seem a bit difficult to manage the work-life balance in the initial stages. The more popular you become, you need not maintain equations with gynecologists, then maybe you can cut down on the labor calls and then start concentrating on the pure pediatrics clinical practice from your OPD and maybe your inpatients. But at least to start with, you may not get great work-life balance. Ortho, trauma, whenever you get a case, you need to run. So it also has little poor work-life balance. And anesthesia, if surgeries happen emergency, anesthesia also happen in emergency. And of course, anesthesia is also looking after ICU. So if you're part of, if you're part of a critical care team, or if you're working in a hospital where anesthesia is looking after OT and ICU, of course, your work-life balance is going to be gone for a toss. On the other hand, departments like radios, psychiatry, dermat seem to offer fixed working hours, and you may have a better work-life balance. Within those, many psychiatry departments do have the emergency calls for the poisonings and drug intoxication and all. They're often handled even by psychiatry departments in some institutes. So in such cases, you may have a little disturbed work-life balance, but otherwise radio dermat seems to be good. Okay. Now the question is, what can I do if I got into medicine? Now I'm feeling stressed. I want a work-life balance, or I got into surgery. I want work-life balance. What I can do? Super specialties into some branches can give you an escape from this busy, stressful life. So what super specialties I can think of in medicine? Inside medicine, the branches that can give you a decent work-life balance after medicine, the super specialty includes endocrinology, that gives the best work-life balance as super specialty. Because in endocrine, there are few emergencies. Majority of them get recognized and managed by the GPs and physicians, and rarely endocrinologists get involved. Like Addison's crisis, and then hypoglycemia, thyrotoxic crisis. Most of them, endocrinologists are called later after the initial management by the emergency medicine or the general medicine. So you can say that there are no major emergencies, no night calls, you can have fixed working hours, decent money. It's a good branch. The next one is rheumat. Though there are few emergencies, rheumatological emergencies, they're not very common. So rheumat gives you a best work-life balance. So these are good for work-life balance. In surgery also, there are few branches which can give you a good work-life balance. Of course, you need to talk to a surgeon like Sandeep to decide which branches can give you a good work-life balance. But what now I would suggest is, choose the branch that your heart is telling you to choose. After that, if you find that it is difficult for you to manage the work-life balance, you may have escapes. Like medicine, endocrinology, or rheumatology gives you an escape from the busy medicine, right? But instead, if I end up in cardiology, most busiest branch. If I end up in nephrology, it's busy branch. If I end up in gastroenterology, it is busy branch. There are pluses and minuses of everything. Now the last thing, you may ask me, sir, where is the OBG in your list? I'll tell you the truth. I personally consider the Obgyn people as the saintly souls, because in all branches, the worst work-life balance is for the OBJ people. And this is not disrespect. I know, because they are required, including our generation and next generation's offsprings. their health, proper delivery, obgyn people are required. But the amount of stress they bear, huge respect for them. Because see, when we get a patient in medicine, it's a pathology. The patient himself knows that I'm going through a pathology and doctor is trying to help me recover from it. Now, pregnancy has so much of physiological changes that they can beat pathology. So for a patient, it's absolutely physiology, right? Labor should go all well. But those physiological changes are like beyond top-notch pathologies. So it's literally pathology bundled as physiology. And because it is perceived as physiology by the patient and the patient attenders, no negative outcome is easily accepted. For a pathological condition, the negative outcome is accepted because they know they think it is a disease. Pregnancy is not considered as a disease, though it is like a disease. And because of that, there is a lot of convincing. The gynecologist is always on the toe. So of course, it has poor work-life balance. There's no doubt about it. But in terms of money, quite good because the diseases may come or diseases may go, but gynecological issues will be there, labor will be there. So gynecologists will always have a good footfall in their clinics, good revenue. So I think I have not seen any gynecologist complaining of lack of revenue, but of course, most of my gynecology friends, obgyn practitioners, are always complaining about the poor work-life balance. That is something that you need to keep in mind. But again, when we love something, the work-life balance actually comes into picture when you feel like this is work and I need an escape from this work to go back to my life. But if you're someone who feel like I can live this life of work as life, then you don't have to bother about the work-life balance. So if Obgyn is your calling, don't hesitate, take it. Okay, so that's it from me on this video module. I hope I have given you some basic insights to make an informed choice for your NEET PG journey. And hope to see you on the other side as practicing consultants and during conferences. And let's share more of the experiences. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.